we're Emperor Metals. This is a very simple story. We're basically a high-grade gold deposit in a Tier 1 district. There's been over 200 million ounces produced in this district. Our symbol is AUOZ, and we're in Quebec. So it's a very, very simple story. Oh. Disclaimer. Why is this now? Okay, so who am I? I'm president. Oh, what happened here?
Now the red button back.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Sorry about that technical difficulties. I'm president and CEO of Emperor Metals, but I'm also a geologist. I've had 30 plus years in the industry. First 15 years been in exploration. Subsequently, the following 15 years has been in production, both underground and open pit. Underground at Hemlo Mines, open pit at Detour Lake Gold. So I'm trying to leverage all my experience in the industry with this company. So in addition, we are a metals group company. The chairman of the board is John Williamson. He's a successful person in the resource sector space, a great track record for growing resource deposits and selling them to majors and mid-tier mining companies and taking mines into production. So we have a great team. We know how to navigate the capital markets, and we think we have a really good prospect here to grow ounces on this deposit. Our share structure is currently right now at 79,000 million shares. We're fully diluted at 106 million shares. We have $2.4 million in the bank that would fund about 5,000 meters worth of drilling. Our all-in cost for drilling on this project is about $250 a meter. We're in Quebec, and there's many tax incentives in Quebec. So because of the insiders and people close to the company, our float is about 55 million shares. Okay, so here are we located. So we're located in the southern Abitibi, right along the Porcupine-Destor Fault. Like I said previously, this district has produced over 200 million ounces of gold. It's really exciting because, you know, we have a resource of 727,000 ounces of gold at 5.42 grams per ton with an average thickness of 5.7 meters. That's what attracted us to this project. This project sat idle for about 12 years before we picked it up. It was very obscure. There was no 3D models on this project or anything, so people really didn't know what it was about. We saw this opportunity right in this district. Within a half an hour to 45 minutes of us, there's about 6 mills. These mills are screaming for more ore because they're under capacity, so they're looking for more feed. So we looked at this project, and we kind of envisioned that this would be a good satellite deposit for supplemental feeds to existing mills in the infrastructure. And before we even acquired this deposit, I had experience working with artificial intelligence models up at Detour Lake Gold. Me and my team were responsible for increasing gold throughput through the mill by up to 20% using these models. So that was pretty significant because when you're producing 700,000 ounces of gold at Detour Lake Gold and you add another 20%, you're looking at $150 million worth of revenue per year for the life of mine. So it was really good, and that's why Kirkland Lake acquired Detour Lake Gold, and eventually Agnico Eagle saw the generational mine that it would become and acquired Kirkland Lake Gold. So I'm using the same knowledge to apply to this property. So before we picked this up, we built this model using AI intelligence. I took a database that was about 100,000 meters of drilling. This deposit was discovered in the 40s. About 8 different workers worked it in the past. And in about 3 weeks to a month, we built a very sophisticated 3D model using artificial intelligence. It was very obscure. Everything was in 2D cross-sections. The reserve that I quoted was in 2011. And basically, it was done with polygonal methodology, which is basically just 2D construction. There was cross-sections and stuff. But we built the first 3D model prior to acquiring it with AI. It was obscure, what was in the paperwork, and we fully illuminated the exploration potential here. This is the first time you're seeing, well, last year we showed this image, but this is the first time you see the geomorphology of this deposit. What we saw was huge potential to grow ounces internally and externally, following the plunge lines and inside. So that was quite exciting. So that was attracted us to the property. We saw the growth potential. We introduced this as a high-grade underground gold mine to investors. So we had our 2023 drilling campaign. 75% of the results are in. We still have another 25% news flow coming out of it. Here are some of the results. There's about 8 different high-grade zones in the deposit that you see in red. So that's where some of the high-grade zones that we were hitting and expanding the footprint of mineralization. 10.8 meters at 15.8 grams per ton, 10.65 meters at 3.9, and 11.7 at 5.63. Historically, no one sampled outside the high-grade mineralization. We're the first company to do continuous sampling in this deposit. Lo and behold, what did we see? We saw significant low-grade bulk tonnage in conjunction with these high-grade lenses that nobody ever sampled before. The historical core, 70% of it is unsampled. So we got excited about seeing that. The rocks looked exciting. It's interesting because our corporate colors are purple and gold, and on the left, the rocks kind of match our corporate colors. That wasn't planned. So that was kind of neat. As you can see, these rocks are completely placed. They're well mineralized and highly altered. The original protolithian spots are completely obliterated and unrecognizable. So that was quite exciting. It's easy for mining for an underground environment or open pit. We don't have to worry about pinch and swell veins. Very, very exciting. But with that low-grade mineralization that we saw, we said, wow, this is amazing. No one's ever looked at the low-grade bulk tonnage for an open pit above this property, above this high-grade gold mine. So we did some pit optimization studies. We have an ultimate pit here that goes down to 400 meters. It's 1.8 kilometers long by 800 meters wide. And so we pivoted in our 2023 program, holes 9 through 14, are tackling the open pit. That program's complete. We're still waiting for some of those results. So that was a real game changer for us because now we have an open pit concept above a high-grade gold deposit. We initially introduced investors to 2 to 6 million ounce potential underground high-grade gold, but now we're looking at something on order potentially of 5 to 10 million ounces because we're thinking about the open pit here. We can add significant ounces by an open pit because you can mine a lot lower grade. As I said, this is the historical core. You can see some of the rocks on the right. They're basically unsampled, and they look, if you're an open pit geologist, you would sample that. It's altered, it looks good. We're in a gold environment. Detour Lake Gold, Malartic has proven that we could do large-scale open pits in the Superior Province. So that's what we're going to be trying to do here. People never thought that in the previous year. That's why they only concentrated on the high-grade gold lenses. We also did some stope optimization. You can see in the heart of this deposit, 15 grams per ton over 15 meters, 12 grams per ton over 15 meters. So it's incredible. So this attests that you could potentially have a quick payback period, high rate of return, and a good net present value. As I mentioned, we wouldn't have to build a tailings dam or a mill because we view this as potentially a satellite deposit to feed existing infrastructure. Okay, so we also built a nice geological model using artificial intelligence. So we're seeing mineralized zones in the footwall no one's ever seen really before. So we built this in 2 or 3 months. Sometimes this would take years to do conventionally. So we're really leveraging AI to get the results that we're getting. We're seeing our models that we created, they're legitimate and they're very credible because we're hitting stuff like 10.8 meters over, 15.8 grams per ton. I'll go a little bit fast. You can see how we're stepping out here, 117 meters, and we're going to be adding a lot more ounces to the footprint of this deposit. So that's the intersection that was 10.8 meters of 15.8. We step out 150 meters along these plunge lines that we showed earlier on. And that's 166 meters out, and we're hitting 3.65 of 6.25 grams per ton. So we're basically seeing a lot of exciting potential for growth. And I guess I'm running out of time, but we're under $10 million market cap. Our analogs in the area are ranging between $50 to $200 million market cap. We see a great potential for market capital growth for this company. So we're quite excited about it. So just to, we have a historical mineral resource estimate. We're located in a Tier 1 district. It's a multi-million ounce potential open pit and high-grade underground. Phase 1 drill program completed. We're fully funded for a 5,000 meter program in Q2 of 2024. There's 110,000 meters that we're leveraging off of, which would cost about $27 to $30 million to drill. If we had to do that in this environment, that'd be significant dilution. So we're leveraging off historical workers. We have a tight share structure, and we're part of the Metals Group company. And that's basically what our plan will look like in 2024. Thank you.
Great.